Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Crystal Strand Tarot. Thank you for joining me in today's reading. So the topic we'll be exploring today will be what reward are you receiving for your good karma? So we have 3 piles to choose from today. For pile number 1, it's this doggy with a heart. Actually, all the animals have a heart, but this is a dog sticker. Pile number 2 has an elephant sticker. And then pile number 3 has a cat sticker. Sorry for shaking the camera. Below these stickers are oracle cards I pulled from the Pantha Oracle. So just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then choose the pile that draws your eyes or your focus the most, and I'll see you in that pile. Hi, welcome to pile 1. If you chose this dog sticker, you're in the right pile. So I did pre-pull 3 oracle cards from the Pantha Oracle, and this will be our energy check. And the question was, what lesson have you learned that led to your good karma? So for the first card, you received the Overload card, card number 67. It says excess, obligation, overwhelm. Card number 2 you got was card number 79, death. It says endless, harm, inevitable. Card number 3, you received card number 7, perseverance. It says challenge, endurance, and resolution. It's interesting that all 3 cards have the number 7 on them, which is usually a number of like spiritual connection. So it seems like you've done spiritual work on yourself that has led to your good karma. And excuse me. So it seems like you've gone through some pretty heavy lesson that was overwhelming and led to this death card, which really reminds me of the death card in the tarot decks. So a card of rebirth. And it says inevitable, so it was something that you could not avoid. Maybe it was part of your soul contract. It's one of the lessons that you agreed to learn when coming to Earth. And these are 2 pretty heavy cards. So it was something that was overwhelming and very heavy. This could have been a work situation, because in this card it looks like a office worker with an endless stack of papers or work to do, and just that feeling of overwhelm and how am I gonna get through this. And maybe there was like a steep learning curve in whatever you were trying to accomplish, but whatever it was, it led to an ending of something major in your life, whether it's work, a relationship, a divorce, or maybe you were laid off, or you had to go through some sort of process that you'd never done before. But I love that it ends with this perseverance card. So whatever obstacles that you did face, you ended up persevering and overcoming them. And part of the lesson was, were you willing to do the hard work that was needed to get you where you are now? And the answer obviously is yes, because it is the perseverance card. So whatever challenges you did face that led to major endings in your life, you learned to be strong through it, and you overcame those obstacles and challenges, and you are now in a better place for it, spiritually and perhaps even in your 3D world. So that sounds like your energy. I'm going to go ahead and pull from this lucky tarot deck. We'll shuffle a few times, and we'll get information about what reward you're receiving for having learned that lesson and gathering that good karma. I want to say farming karma for some reason, but it seems like you are the type of person that doesn't stand down when you're faced with something that is intimidating. And Spirit is definitely very proud of you for that. And they often say that God or Spirit doesn't present you with a challenge that you're not prepared to handle or you're not able to handle. So everything that you face in life is something that you can overcome and accomplish, achieve. Sorry, I've actually never used this deck before, so I want to shuffle a few more times, but Spirit, please help me tap into Pile 1's energy. Allow me to provide clear healing messages for their highest good and to help them align with their highest timeline. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. All right, Spirit. What good karma, what reward are they receiving for their good karma? What reward is Pile 1 receiving for their good karma? What reward is Pile 1 receiving for their good karma, please? Ooh, that's quite a lot. 3, okay, I'm gonna keep them. 9 of Pentacles, the World. I'm actually not taking reversals in this reading, so it's the 9 of Wands. Oops. Okay. That was an interesting way that I fell out of the deck. The Emperor. And then the 8 of Cups. Bottom of the deck is Page of Cups. So maybe for a good chunk of you in this, watching this reading, it was regarding the ending of a relationship because of the Page of Cups, High Priestess, King of Wands. And with the central energy being the 9 of Wands, definitely just the feeling of someone that is like battle hardened, just has been through a lot. And still, again, this 9 of Wands is a card of perseverance. So this definitely is synchronistic with the perseverance card. And a battle well fought, and now you're close to or at the ending of a cycle that's going to be bringing you rewards and blessings. And the reason why I mentioned also, aside from the Page of Cups being on the bottom of the deck, that for many of you this may have been an ending of a relationship, is so you have the 9 of Pentacles, which is, the 9s are usually the pinnacle of like independent success, whereas the 10 is usually a union with other people and being successful in that. So now being in an energy of personal abundance, security, strength, but having to have walked away from something in order to get this. So emotionally and maybe even physically moving away from a past relationship, a past situation, that was emotionally heavy for you in order to bring yourself a new beginning. And then with the cards flanking the Nine of Wands being the World and then the Emperor. So really just stepping into your own security and power and strength. I see the Emperor as someone that's just very wise and in control. And that is the blessing, is you're going to be, and the World is the card of the ending of a cycle. And having done so successfully. And with the Nine of Pentacles and the Emperor, it's just giving me a feeling of the reward for having gone through this really difficult period, this hardship in your life that was overwhelming. And maybe you even experienced a tarot moment with the Death card, just having your world shook up or rattled up or upended, and now you're rebuilding a new life for yourself, but it's one of abundance, security within yourself that shines outwardly to the world as well. I do actually want to pull, let me pull out a clarifying card on the Eight of Cups. Please clarify the Eight of Cups, Spirit. Just to make sure I got the message right. Nine of Cups. Yeah, so understanding that you walked away from something, that you had built a life around this Eight of Cups, but you left it so that you could move into the Nine of Cups, an even better situation. So it may have been, sad and difficult, but it was for your best. And because you learned that lesson, you passed that test from the universe, from Spirit or whoever, you're being rewarded for that, with the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, abundance, independence, security. So this is definitely great news for you. And the Ace of Wands, the spark of a new beginning, of a passionate new beginning. And I see this next period of your life really being about yourself, because these nines, and like I mentioned before, nines are like the pinnacle of success. Four, and you also actually have 3 out of the 4 9 cards. You're only missing the Nine of Swords, which is a good thing, since the Nine of Swords is usually a card about anxiety. So the ending of a cycle, the reward is the beginning of a new successful cycle for yourself and for your own personal mental health, mental security, mental stability. I'm really proud of you. Spirit is really proud of you for the hard work you put into this. And it was not for nothing. Your blessings or your reward is coming. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Your Breakthrough is Coming Oracle deck. Looks like this. I actually really like this deck. Let me shuffle it a couple of times off screen so it doesn't blow the cards away again. This is definitely really exciting energy. I know, having come out of such a dark, difficult time, maybe you don't see it yet, but the energy I'm feeling from the tarot cards is just very, it's like the world is your oyster. The world is opening up for you. Okay. Let's pull a couple of cards, Spirit. Please, what blessing or reward is coming for Power One's good karma from the lesson they learned? What advice do you have for them? Guidance regarding the reward they're receiving for their good karma. Whoa. Too many cards. I will take the top one. You're starting wiser. Oh, I love that. One more card, please, Spirit. Guidance for the reward they're receiving for their good karma. Guidance. Oh. I feel like I should take it. Okay, I'll take it. All right. Oh, and the bottom of the deck is the risk is worth the reward. I feel like this summarizes the sentiments that I felt in this reading thus far. As the risk of walking away from something or a life that you had built up for yourself, or that a situation that you had really invested in, and you know, moving away from that comfort zone is not easy, and probably brought about a lot of sleepless nights, heartache, stress, because moving from one part of your life to a completely different part of your life, or a completely different chapter of your life, requires things to end and things to begin. And in that mess is, I want to say, a lot of paperwork, just a lot of like tedious everyday tasks that are unavoidable. So for you, the reward, you're getting this reward because you took the risk, because you chose to, you know, listen to your higher self or your higher calling, your intuition, to move yourself into this new chapter because you felt you needed to, and you're being rewarded for that. And I love that the first card we got is you're starting wiser. And you know, this almost looks like this person has reached the top of the mountain, and then you get to the top and you realize, oh, I'm the journey's not over. There's still more to explore. But in this new part of this journey, you're not starting from zero. Like all the headaches, all the stress, all the sleepless nights were not for nothing. That has made you stronger, wiser. And when you start this new chapter, you'll be reaching even greater heights with this newfound knowledge and wisdom. And then speak your dreams out loud. The feeling I'm getting from this is, you know, words have power. And in this new chapter, Spirit is reminding you to be more intentional with the things you say to yourself, the things you speak out loud to others, and to speak positively, and to visualize and manifest your dreams by talking about them with, you know, people around you that support you and really, really support you. Not that fake support where you tell them and you feel like they get jealous, or you feel like they don't really root for you or for your success. And then speaking your dreams out loud gives me a feeling of needing courage to do that, because sometimes you may think that your dreams are, it's like a pipe dream, not something that is actually realistic. So to be able to speak your dreams out loud requires courage, and also discernment to make sure that, like I said, you're speaking it out loud to people that can hear you, can support you wholeheartedly with love, and not with envy or evil eye, or, you know, secret jealousy or anything like that. Any of those not so great emotions that can taint your dream or make it harder for it to come to fruition, because all those energies have an impact on your manifestation, on your vision. So you have to make sure you surround yourself with people that genuinely support you. And as I'm talking, like holding this card, it says your fire is sacred, just validates the fact that it's important that you protect your dreams, your spark, that you don't just share that with anyone, that there is a level of discernment with who you're sharing it with. Pay attention, to how they make you feel inside. When you walk away from the conversation, do you feel more alive, more excited? Or do you walk away feeling like shit? Do they tell you that your dreams are stupid or impossible, or you need to be more realistic, instead of figuring out with you, how can we make this dream a reality? So making sure you surround yourself with people, places, things, experiences that also protect your fire. And you're not obligated to give your fire to just anyone, just because they ask. Okay. And then I did want to pull finally a couple cards from the Psychic Tarot. Make sure everything's on the screen. Okay. Just for some final guidance from Spirit on this new exciting chapter in your life. I'm excited for you. You deserve it. It's clear just from looking at these cards that you deserve it, and that Spirit has got your back, and they're proud of you. Okay. Okay, Spirit, what final guidance do you have for Pile 1? Okay. We have Suffering and Silence in reverse. One more card, Spirit. That actually came right out. So maybe you were suffering in silence, and that kind of ties in with the speak your dreams out loud. You need to confide in your loved ones and give them the opportunity to support you. But it's in reverse, so that's something you're coming out of. Okay, one more card, please, Spirit. Whoa. Emotional loss. So I do want to read from the book for both of these. All right, Suffering and Silence. Blue border. I have not used this deck in a while, so give me a second while I find this. Number 9. Well, since I can only find the emotional, let's do this one first. I guess this is meant to go first. So it says the number 5 emotions card comes forth at a time when you may be experiencing or grieving a loss of someone or something you are emotionally attached to. Definitely got that feeling from the, I didn't put it on here, but the Page of Cups and this Overwhelmed card. It says, honor your feelings. Only by healing and loving yourself, by letting go of the past, can you continue your journey. The suffering associated with this loss delivers profound wisdom, for sure, starting over wiser. Profound wisdom and knowledge for your soul. Your unique gifts, talents, and abilities, as well as your joy and sorrow, will not only make up who you really are, but better yet, who you will become. The painful experiences of life are equally as valuable as the joyous ones, for sure. A lot of times, when things are always going right, we don't learn from that. We learn from change, we learn from challenge, and we learn from pain, loss, suffering. So those emotions are difficult, but they challenge us to grow. Focus all your positive energy on the good in your life and what you're grateful for. Use your healing energy in this way and try not to focus on what you lost, for new beginnings and happiness are just around the corner. For sure, for you. I feel like this is what you've been going through, and maybe if you haven't really sat down with these feelings and processed them, like, it's important that you do that. You recognize, you acknowledge those emotions, you allow them to work through you. You know, if that means crying, you know, scream into a pillow, you know, just deeply feel those emotions so that it can be recognized and then released. You can't release something if you're resisting it. So definitely do that. And then I feel like you're in the place where now you've done the grieving process and you're ready to start shifting your focus on what you're grateful for, because this new chapter in your life is going to give you a lot to be grateful for. And I'm getting the message from Spirit to make sure you pay attention and you are awake for and you're aware. There it is. I guess this doesn't do reverse, so let's read it up. Just read the message and we can interpret. The number 9 denotes completion. Again, another 9 card. I didn't even realize it. It's another 9 card. So you got a bunch of 7s and 9s. So this is really a spiritual, I want to say spiritual awakening, but just it's been a very spiritual process for you, and it's a major ending of a cycle for you. Are you finally ready to let go of those limiting negative beliefs, or are you allowing the issues in your life to become bigger than they really are? Okay, so this is why I feel like this is in reverse, because I feel like this is, you've worked through this. You're no longer holding on or clinging to these negative beliefs, these issues in your life, and you're ready to let go. There's a feeling I'm getting with this in reverse and then this upright. It says your mind has been doing quite a job on you lately, and even your dreams may be trying to get your attention. When you learn to let go of the worry, despair, and sense of hopelessness, a positive new way or path will be shown to you. And this is why, like, this is you're at the tail end of this. So you're at a positive new way or path is opening up for you. It's being shown to you. The card follows trapped in fear, the number 8 mental card. When your fears aren't confronted, your mental anguish will continue. And then this is a reminder to take action and trust that your soul and the power of Spirit will grasp you firmly by the hand and guide you, but you must take the first step toward healing and let go of the mental distress. Don't suffer in silence. Reach out for help that's available. So definitely validating and confirming just the messages that we've received before of letting go, of protecting your energy. Even this emotional loss card, they have their hand over their heart chakra and it's orange, as if there's a fire there that you're protecting. And again, this card, the suffering in silence in reverse, reminding you to make sure that you reach out even to Spirit, your guides, angels, to help you, to guide you, to, provide you support if you don't feel like you want to reach out to anyone in your life, your family, your friends, whoever is around, but reach out to someone or Spirit, so that you're not doing this alone. You're not meant to be doing this alone. All right, those are all the messages I've received. I don't think I can, no, there's no more messages. Okay, so I hope this reading was validating, comforting for you, and I'm very excited for this reward that is coming into your life based on the lessons that you've learned, the hard work you've put in, the good karma that you've accumulated. And if this reading resonated with you, please feel free to subscribe, to like the video. I definitely appreciate that. And any comments, if you want to share your story, I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, welcome to Pile 2. If you chose this elephant sticker, you are in the right part of the video. Welcome. So I did actually pre-pull 3 cards, and this will be for your energy check. And the question I asked is, what lessons did you learn that gave you good karma? So card number 1 was pride. It says self-esteem, self-worth, ego. Card number 4 of this deck. You received third wheel, card number 37. It says enemy, distrust, flirtatiousness. And the third card you received is card number 30 from the deck. It was conflict, difference, disputes, and quarrels. So the energy I'm feeling from this is, or the story I'm getting from these cards about the lesson that was learned, is someone that's maybe a bit prideful. I'm getting the feeling of like arrogance, or it's not really arrogance, it's more like just someone that didn't think that they would receive consequences. It's the feeling I'm getting. Like maybe someone that likes to take risks and just to do things without thinking, or thinking it through thoroughly. And then with these 2 cards, it is giving me the feeling of, I mean, third wheel, obviously, third party. Or maybe for some of you, it was involving an affair where you just went with the emotions, the impulses, without thinking of consequences. And that led to a conflict or breakup that was very stressful and difficult. That is one of the main scenarios I'm getting from these 3 cards. And for others, I am also getting the scenario where maybe if this was not based on, if this was not a third party, a situation, an affair, or something like that, it could have been a situation within a friend group where you may have done things or said things without thinking of the impact that it would have on others. And it led to conflict or dispute. Regardless of the situation, it led to some sort of falling out or conflict within that situation. So whether it's a friend group, you know, a relationship, and even with the third wheel, I'm also getting for some of you, it's not necessarily that it was an affair. It could have just been, with the keyword on here saying distrust. So just something that happened that because of actions that you took that you didn't think it through completely, led to the ending of a relationship, whether that's a friendship or a romantic relationship, and there were hurt feelings and the loss of trust, and yes, perhaps even arguments or conflict. So some sort of major fight happened because of an action that you took, and it really humbled you, is the feeling I'm getting. So going from this state of just being prideful, you know, acting from your ego, and then with it being the number 4, you know, which is a card or number of like stability. So having been in that state for perhaps quite a while, this falling out or this conflict that had happened, this loss of trust, has really humbled you. And that is a lesson that maybe took you a while to learn, but Spirit is definitely very glad that you overcame that, and you have become a more humble, more thoughtful person because of this. Perhaps this relationship that you lost was very important to you. Maybe someone that you thought would, be in your life forever, that you guys would be best friends forever, or they would be your partner forever, or some sort of scenario like that you guys would be great friends for the rest of your lives. And then this shakeup happens because of some sort of mistake or action that you took that you didn't think would lead to this, and it did. So if this is your energy, let's continue to the tarot deck, the Lucky Tarot. And I don't want to say no judgment here. We all make mistakes. We all do things that can sometimes be on impulse, and then after the fact you're like, oh God, I didn't realize that it was going to lead to X, Y, and Z. Otherwise I wouldn't have done that. It was a mistake. But you learned the mistake to the extent that you know that it's not going to happen again, and it has changed you for the better as a person. And that is why you've accumulated good karma, even though this situation was, maybe sometimes you think it was your fault and it was avoidable, but this was a lesson that you needed to learn, and because you learned it, you've received good karma for it. I hope that made sense. Definitely don't want you to beat yourself up. It seems like, you may have had those types of feelings based on what it led to or how it impacted those around you, but this is a lesson that you needed to learn, and you learned it. And now let's focus on where you can go from here and what good karma or rewards are coming your way now. Okay. Spirit, please help me tap into Palo 2's energy. Allow me to provide clear healing messages for the highest good and to help them align with their highest timeline. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. All right, Spirit. What reward is Palo 2 receiving for the good karma that they've earned? You got the Two of Swords. What good karma is Palo 2 receiving for the good karma? I'm sorry, what reward is Palo 2 receiving for the good karma? What reward is Palo 2 receiving for the good karma? And that's the Six of Swords. What reward is Palo 2 receiving for the good karma? I'm not taking reversals, so if you see me flip the Star card, that's why. Okay, that's 5 cards. I might have to cover this up. Hold on. We're going to use a, let me see, a penny, because that's what I have available. Oh, these cards are a little bent. Okay. And then bottom of the deck energy, Seven of Swords. Definitely lots. Oh my God, so many swords, except for the Star card. Let me make sure this is in frame. Okay. Definitely, especially with this Nine of Swords in as a central energy, this has definitely been a very difficult experience for you. I mean, understandably, based on the messages that came out from the Pantha Oracle, I can imagine that it was something very difficult. But because it's the 9, I mean, this is a card of anxiety, sleepless nights. But, this person is no longer laying down. it's like they woke up from a bad dream. It's the feeling I'm getting from this person in this card. And I actually never noticed this, but even here, it looks like someone that woke up, and then you have this little, I don't know if you can see it, but this person reaching out, like extending their hand to save this person. So I feel like Spirit is pulling you out of this despair or anxiety or this situation that you've been in. And the 9 is the ending of a cycle, the completion of a cycle. So this feeling, this stuff, this darkness is ending now, or it has ended for you recently, which is a good thing. This is definitely something worth celebrating. You learned your lesson. You learned whatever you needed to learn from there to help your soul, to help you grow as a person. And with the 2 of Swords, going from a period of feeling indecisive, stuck between 2 worlds almost, like not knowing which way to go, and feeling like you're blind to what is the right choice for you. In moving into a space of the Knight of Swords, so many swords, you're definitely a person that is in your head about this. This has definitely caused mental anguish for you. But going from this stuck feeling or this indecisive feeling to being inspired or receiving the clarity that you needed to move forward. The Knight of Swords just kind of rushing forward and finally making movement. And movement out of this turmoil that you've been in and into calmer waters. And then with the Star card, oh, this is such a pretty card too. With the Star card being the card of hope and just like almost like dreams coming true, like that spark of hope. Hope is what keeps you moving forward. And you know, out of all these swords cards and the sword 7 of Swords, usually meaning a card of deception or like sneaking away. I honestly feel like you need to sneak away from this situation. And the High Priestess, and like, oh, and then the 4 of Swords underneath that. I felt the 4 of Swords being in that reflective, stuck energy. But maybe you were stuck for a reason, so that you could process all of this and do the inner work. I want to pull more clarifiers on the Star card, actually, so we can get more information about what reward you're receiving for the lesson you learned, for the good karma that you've accumulated. Just clarify the Star card, Spirit. Oh wait, this is not the right deck. Thanks. I'm sorry, Spirit. Whoops. I grabbed the Pantha Oracle and I was shuffling that. Actually, okay. Feeling like Spirit's saying I am supposed to pull from this. All right. What reward is Pile 2 receiving for their good karma? What reward is Pile 2 receiving for their good karma? Whoa. Oh, it's funny. This robbery card looks like the 7 of Swords, card number 59. I don't think your reward is robbery. The feeling I'm getting from this really is confirming that you are walking away from an unhealthy situation. And it's a good thing. Like, you need to be separated from this in order for you to move on. Okay, what reward is Pal 2 receiving for the good karma? rewards Pantha receiving for their good karma? I'm just going to take the top one. Let me check the other two. Whoops. Okay. So you literally received the family and blessing card with fury underneath. And family is card number 46. And it says bond, home, background. With blessing, fulfillment, well-being, enlightenment, card number 23. And this fury card, I mean, I know the literal meaning of fury is like anger, and it says offense, madness, unpleasantness, but I'm not getting that from this. I'm getting it as if this person is waking up. There's a fire in their soul that is ignited, almost like the Knight of Swords. And it's like it's like I said here before with the central energy and Nine of Swords, like you're waking up. And you're lighting a fire within you that will move you forward into this, like this card gives me the 10 of Cups energy. Just this, you're moving into a space of emotional fulfillment and literally blessings as your reward. And that requires that you let go of this previous turmoil. You sneak away even. Maybe you literally have to sneak away or just quietly move away or walk away from that situation. Because it's no longer serving you. Let me do this. And I like that these are like pink and red. Just feeling like it's like the love and passion, whereas previously we were all in your head and it was all swords energy, just air energy. And this reward is helping you tap into a more heart-centered, wands energy, cups energy part of yourself. Okay, I want to pull from the Your Breakthrough is Coming Oracle. We'll pull a couple of cards from this. And with the High Priestess that was at the new bottom of the deck, just being more connected, heart-centered, connected to your intuition, your gut feeling, to your spirit guides, just changing up the way that you're thinking and living your life. That is the reward. Okay, Spirit, please provide additional information about the reward they're receiving for the good karma. What guidance do you have for Pal 2, please? What reward and guidance do you have for the rewards that Pal 2 is receiving? Oh, this card came out again. This is also a card that came out in pile 1. Okay, one more card, please, Spirit. Guidance for pile 2 on the reward they're receiving for their good karma, for the lesson they learned. Oh, no, okay. So I'll just take 2, but again, I'll take 3. I'll take the card that flipped. Oh no, I don't feel like we have, okay. Bottom of the deck is Be the Storm. And the message I'm getting from this not to actually be someone that is a storm in other people's lives, but instead of resisting the flow of the water, trying to do it, you know, do things against the current, I'm getting the message of go with the flow. Like, be one with the storm, so that you can move into a sense of peace and calm and allowing and receiving versus forcing things to happen. And then your starting wiser card. My eyes are being drawn to the clouds parting here and the sun rising. It's like you've definitely been in a very dark place, stuck in your head, and you've learned the lesson, and it's, you know, I'm getting a message that you no longer need to continue to beat yourself up. So it's time to move on from those cloudy, dark energies that were keeping you up at night. Maybe that guilt or anguish that you were feeling. And I feel like these two cards go together. It says, keep the promise you made to yourself and say yes to you. And maybe you did actually make a promise to yourself to do better, to be better. Whatever that is, whatever promise you made to yourself. And again, with the flame, it's just giving me a feeling of like this fire within, like start living your life is the feeling I'm getting about this promise. The promise to yourself, make a promise to yourself, you know, to live your life fully, to do things the right way. And then again with this, you know, this orange red colors, saying yes to you is also reminding me of the sun, the way they have the rays expanding from this message. It gives me the feeling of give yourself the chance to be happy and to live a life that brings you passion, happiness, fulfillment. And I definitely getting a clear message of stop beating yourself up is the message I keep hearing in my head. It was difficult, but you gained wisdom from it. And finally, I want to pull a couple of cards from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. I'm going to shuffle this a couple of times. Okay, the card had fallen onto my lap, but I hadn't even shuffled and I don't feel like I'm supposed to take it, so I'm not going to. Alright, Spirit, what final guidance do you have for Pile 2? Regarding the reward you'll be receiving for good karma. Okay, one more card, please. I feel like I'm supposed to take this. Temptation and spiritual strength. Okay, let's read from the book for both of these. Spiritual strength, card number 9. It was in reverse, but I'm feeling that it should be upright. But let's see what it says. Oh, wait. says this card is coming forth to give encouragement and remind that you have the inner strength to complete whatever you've been working on. Okay, that's why I feel like it was in reverse, because I feel like you've already completed the cycle with this situation. Since the final spirit card represents courage, discipline, stability, and persistence. You may be tired or weary from the struggle, but now is not the time to give in. Yeah. Instead, tap into all of your inner reserves for that one final push to achieve the desired outcome. You've been through so much to get to this point, and even though you may have acquired some scars from the battle, you're wiser and stronger for it. The enlightenment you've gained will be an invaluable resource. You may also notice that you're experimenting with different things in your life at this time. All of these experiences feature spirit and offer you knowledge for the future. Yeah, so I think that's why this was in reverse. It's more so that you didn't give in. You did the work. You persevered, and you overcame the struggle. You were in this energy of feeling weary and wanting to give in, but you didn't. And that's why you're being rewarded for your good karma, for learning that lesson. Number 15, temptation. And I think this card corresponds with the Devil card in the tarot deck. It says, through this card, addictions and self-limiting behaviors are being addressed. Maybe that was what this Pride card was referring to, this ego-centered. Maybe there were addictions and self-limiting behaviors that caused this dispute or this rift in your life. This is a time when you or someone else in your life may be placing too much emphasis on the material physical world and its pleasures. Yeah, ego-based behaviors. Even though we're all born connected to the divine source, we have a tendency to pull away from what was once natural. When we become disconnected from spirit, the source that once nourished us, it's often replaced with a different supply or substitute. And I definitely felt that that is what it was, disconnected from spirit, because there was so much swords. It was almost all swords except for the star card. It was all swords cards except for the star card. So very much in your head with the fears, the anxiety, the ego leading your decisions. But this new part of your journey, the reward, realizing that you are not your thoughts and your anxiety and your fears, and that old way of living no longer serves you. And it's time to live from a place from your intuition, the High Priestess, that was the new bottom of your deck, and from the fire within you, the passion within you, the spirit within you. In other words, the connection is then forged with food, alcohol, nicotine, codependency, or someone, or even work, hence the term workaholic. Many of us spend our lives, so this could have even that as well, any type of fixation on the material world that had led to this conflict. Okay, learn to embrace your fears and all of your doubts so that every situation in your life becomes a learning experience. And I think you have done this. You have turned this into a learning experience, and you've become stronger for it. Gaining the knowledge that the physical world teaches will help you transcend to a higher spiritual awareness. And that is the reward, is being reconnected with spirit and your own spirituality and your higher self. All right, so those are all the messages I'm getting. I hope this provided you validation, comfort. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like the video, subscribe. It'll really help my channel. And I would love to hear your story if you're willing to share. Please leave a comment, even with suggestions on future readings you'd like to see. All right, so I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hi, welcome to pile number 3. If you chose this cat sticker, you've made it to the right pile. Welcome, pile 3. Hold on. Try and get this to stand up. Okay. So I did pre-pull 3 oracle cards from the Pantha Oracle. And this will serve as our energy check for this pile. So the question I had asked while pulling these cards was, what lessons or lesson have you learned that has led to your good karma? So card number 1 was compromise. Card number 33 of the deck says agreement, reconciliation, consideration. Make sure it's okay. Card number 2 you got was card number 41, idea. It's really hard to read. It says inspiration, suggestion, and I'm not sure. Something with a V. Vision. Okay. And then card number 3 is number 55 in the deck. Evidence, detection, investigation, proof. Okay, so the lesson or the feeling I'm getting from these cards is, with idea and evidence, is someone that is learning to tap into their intuition. About a certain situation. Where previously you were someone that maybe compromised the things that you wanted for yourself. This is the feeling I'm getting. And allowing other people to sway you. This compromise is giving me the people pleaser energy. And maybe compromising too much to the point where you sacrifice what you wanted for yourself. And ignoring your gut instincts, your intuition. And it leading to you wanting to follow your visions, the intuition that you have for yourself on what you're supposed to do, even if there was no evidence, or like you had no way of justifying why you wanted to do that thing. And instead of where previously you would just let people convince you that that was not a good idea, don't do it, even though deep inside you felt like you needed to, you ignored it. You're moving into a space where you're listening to your inner guidance, your intuition, and respecting your ideas and trusting yourself enough to do that thing, even if there was no evidence of it being viable or the right thing to do in the outer world, in the material world. And because you've learned that lesson of no longer compromising yourself and what you want and what you know is right for you, that has led to your good karma. That is the lesson that you've learned. If that sounds like your energy, let's move on to the next section. We're going to pull from the Lucky Tarot. I'm going to shuffle first a couple of times. All right, Spirit, please let me tap into Pile 3's energy. Allow me to be a clear channel to provide healing messages for their highest good and to help them align to their highest timeline. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, this was definitely giving me someone that was a people pleaser. And, you know, saying that, I understand from personal experience the feeling of being a people pleaser. So it's definitely not passing judgment on you and how difficult it is to overcome that, and then just to trust yourself and trust your own thoughts and feelings about things, even if everyone around you is saying otherwise. You know best for yourself. Okay, so what reward is Pile 3 receiving for the good karma that they've accumulated, for the lesson that they've learned? Oh yeah, I wanted to come out. What reward is Pile 3 receiving? Let's see. Oh, I didn't realize it was 3 cards. Okay. Knight of Wands. 6 of Swords. The Sun. Oh, and I love that the Sun is the central energy, and it's also the same color as the Idea card. And very yellow. And now I'm noticing yellow in the other cards too. The 5 of Pentacles. What reward is Pile 3 receiving for the good karma they've accumulated? We have Page of Pentacles, also yellow. I don't know, maybe you should start wearing yellow. I'm just being very drawn to all the yellow in the cards suddenly. Again, bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands, also in yellow. Yellow is your lucky color right now. Put it here. Okay. Okay, with the central energy being the Sun, and like I said, definitely very synchronistic with the yellow in this Idea card. Just giving me a feeling of just bright sunny days, hope, happiness, a childlike energy, tapping into your inner child with these sunflowers in the background, just having fun. And also it feels like there's a sense of freedom with this. Like the reward you're receiving is because you're connecting with your inner self, the Queen of Wands, also with the sunflower. Just feels like someone that's tapped into their inner power, what lights them up, and that's bringing you happiness. Like your reward is happiness, is the feeling I'm getting. Just not just you know, the momentary happiness, but contentment, fulfillment in your life. And with the 6 of Swords and then the 5 of Pentacles, it is giving me a feeling of maybe perhaps you are literally moving, or just metaphorically moving out of a situation that no longer served you, that was causing turmoil in your life, that you felt left out because you didn't feel like you belonged, and you're moving out of that. These people are in motion. The 5 is a number of change. So moving into calmer waters, moving away from people or places that no longer served you. It's as if it's like a color, yellow is like a color of spring almost. Just giving, with these flowers and this Page of Pentacles, you know, leaves blooming from this wand that this Knight of Wands is holding. Just the spark of life, of newness, of a new beginning. And the Page of Pentacles, pages are very young energy, so it's like a sapling, something that's like sprouting in your life, and it's something that will be stable, abundant, sound for you. And I like that it was, you know, paired with the Knight of Wands, which is someone that is willing to make those actions, the movement forward, to follow their passion, to follow their spark, and doing it with a sense of like excitement and wonder with the Sun card. So I'm very excited for you. And always following what lights you up, what makes you happy, what, you know, lights your eyes up, what gives you that spark. Even if it may not be direct, it will always lead you to where you need to be, to where you will be truly happy and fulfilled. The Queen of Wands here. All right, so I do want to pull more cards. We're going to pull from Your Breakthrough is Coming Oracle. We'll pull a couple of cards from this. I initially only wanted to pull 2 cards, but Spirit keeps giving me 3 cards, so we're going to pull 3 cards for you as well. All right, Spirit. What guidance do you have for pile 3 regarding the reward they're receiving for good karma they've accumulated? Actually, you got this in the last pile too. In pile 2, say yes to you. Oh, success is already in motion. And I definitely felt that with the Knight of Wands with the Page of Pentacles. Just feels like there's movement. And it may be slow, you may not be able to see it, but whatever seeds you planted have taken root, and it's going to sprout soon. It's going to bloom. It's like right around the corner. Okay, one more card, please, Spirit. What guidance do you have for pile 3 regarding the reward they're receiving for good karma? Oh, yeah. Okay, they gave me 2 cards. Oh, this showed up in all 3 piles. And I think this is definitely confirmation that everyone in 3 piles has learned their lessons, the lessons they needed to learn, and they have been wiser for it. All these situations and scenarios have made each of the piles wiser, including your pile. This is, bottom of the deck is Dream Big, Start Now. Dream big, start now. And I think that aligns with this idea card. Like, you had this vision for yourself. And regardless of what those around you were telling you that maybe didn't support this dream, like you decided to support your own dream. And you've made a step in that direction. So Spirit is telling you, that is confirming to you that yes, it's okay to dream big, and it's okay to start now. Like, now is the time to bring this dream life, whatever you dream or want to manifest in your life, to start putting energy toward that and to manifest it, and to start now. And this Say Yes to You card definitely reminds me again of the Sun card, with these rays surrounding Say Yes to You. And for you, definitely the message I'm receiving is that it's confirming that you made the right decision in prioritizing yourself, being a little bit selfish in a good way, not in a toxic way, and putting yourself first and respecting your own ideas for yourself, your own vision for yourself. And that requires that you say yes to you, and to continue to do that. And that is this is what's leading you to this reward, this blessing that's coming into your life. And I do love that the Dream Big, Start Now, with success is already in motion. Just having made this step of saying yes to yourself and prioritizing your own needs in your life is leading you down this river to success. And you're already on this path. Oh, and then it's safe to want more. Definitely makes me feel, gives me some of the feelings that you may have felt when you were compromising yourself, your own values, your own thoughts and feelings for yourself, because you didn't feel like it was safe. You didn't feel like you deserved more. You didn't feel like you deserved to get all the good things that you wanted for yourself. But your spirit is definitely saying you are more than enough. You deserve all the love in the universe. It's safe to want more. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to compromise yourself. When you stand in your authentic self, your truth, you will attract people that will admire, adore, respect who you truly are. You don't have to be anything less than that. And those that can't see the good in you or the greatness in you, those people will fall away from your life. And again, you're starting wiser. Same like with this kind of river. It may have been a winding path. It wasn't straightforward. It was not easy. But you're wiser for it. You've learned what you needed to learn, and you're moving into a much brighter chapter of your life, and that is a reward for doing the hard work and no longer succumbing to the pressures of others. I'm very proud of you, Pal 3, for the work you've done. So Spirit, I just get this feeling of like proud mama is the feeling I'm getting, which is kind of strange to say, but just feeling very proud of you. And that is definitely an emotion that's coming from Spirit. All right, I'm going to pull finally a couple of cards from the Psychic Oracle. Just for final advice, messages from Spirit. Okay. Spirit, what guidance or final advice you have for Pal 3 regarding the reward they're receiving for their good karma? What reward is Pal 3 receiving for their good karma? You have solitude. Guidance for the reward Pal 3 is receiving. New beginnings. I think the black borders are both equivalent to the major arcana in the traditional tarot. Let's see. Number 9, solitude. Oh yeah, see, so stop. Your soul is calling out and needs to be honored and heard. The answers you seek aren't necessarily found in the outer world. The time has come for you to step back and withdraw from outside commotion, which is something I've already mentioned that I feel like you've done. You've pulled back from the people, the situations that were not aligning with what you felt in your soul. The Solitude card is a reminder of how important it is to pause, still the mind, meditate, reflect, reevaluate, and discover the wisdom and answers within the very soul of your being. When you become more aware of your soul and heart, you strengthen the link to the divine source, and you're able to once again remember your true perfection. Now, I feel like I need to say it again. You're able to once again remember your true perfection. That it is safe to want more. You deserve all the love in the universe. You are worthy, is the feeling I'm getting. Meet your soul halfway and schedule some alone time to commune with your soul, and also give the power of Spirit the opportunity to reinvigorate your life. Reinvigorate you with life force and vitality. And I mean, with the Sun card, the say yes to you, just the yellows I saw, I think you're already in this energy. Like you are being reinvigorated with light and love because you have spent this time to reflect, to pull back from things that were not lighting you up. And you're being rewarded for that. Conserve your energy and deal with one thing at a time as you follow the prompts from within. When it comes to moments of quiet, inner solitude, really isn't about quantity, it's the quality that counts. The soul constantly draws to itself what it needs in order to learn and grow. For example, during this period, someone may step into your life, and by sharing his or her own experiences, you may receive helpful insight and wisdom into your own. And this is corresponding with the Hermit, card number 9. And then card number 0, New Beginnings, corresponds with the Fool card. And I love that energy for you. Again, just very childlike, innocent, optimistic feeling from this card as well, New Beginnings. Each and every journey begins with the all-important first step. When this card presents itself in your reading, it's confirming that it's time for you to take a brave leap of faith, but be prepared as you do so. This card represents that a great new adventure is awaiting you. 100% for sure, that you are already on the step 1 of your new adventure. It usually shows up when there's a significant inner change happening within you. By selecting this card, it's a sign that those important choices are needed and are about to be made. And this card did come in reverse, and I flipped it back upright. But I do feel like this is something you've already... this has already been an energy that you've been in. So whatever choice that needed to be made, you already made it, is the feeling I'm getting. That's why it came out in reverse. Life is constantly trying to nudge and move you forward. At times it can be daunting when you're faced with a new adventure or direction. Therefore, it calls for inner belief and courage as you take that leap of faith and step into the unknown. During this time, don't be alarmed if you feel lost or even confused. Most people are afraid of change and play it safe by staying where they are. And like I said, I do get the feeling that you've already taken that first step. So you have listened to your inner guidance and taken that leap of faith. And Spirit is definitely very proud of you for that. And don't conform to what society or other individuals expect of you at this time, for sure. Don't conform. You listen to your inner soul calling. It's your own adventure. During this time, be like an innocent child with fresh eyes. Give yourself permission to live, play, love, and above all, laugh. And this is, again, the Fool card. Definitely maybe start wearing yellow to remind you of just staying in this energy of, like I said, childlike innocence, brightness, the sun. And you are in for a great treat in this new chapter in your life, and I'm excited for you. Those are all the messages I'm receiving for you, Pile 3. I hope it resonated. I hope it brought you comfort and validation. If it did resonate with you, please, I would appreciate if you liked and or subscribed to the channel. It will help the channel out a lot. And if you're willing, please feel free to share your story. I'd love to hear it. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.